It is Friday night in UFO town. Thank you. We are here with Carl and Jeremiah, and Mark was here, but as soon as I told him we were going live, he just decided to dip out. But he'll be back in a second. There he is, Mark. So I see everything isn't completely destroyed behind you. That's damn it. That's a spoiler alert for what we're about to show. Guys,
you're going to want to stick around.
We're going to start with this first.
I warned her not to.
This Mark. This happened literally right outside of the lab. Holy moly! Hey guys,
there was no water.
Sorry guys, keeping you waiting. Oh, thank you, Bio Nerd. I'll have to get like the rubber ducky.
That's gonna be 3 feet.
This is literally right outside of the break room of our lab.
I mean, it's eddy.
This is like
right, you can see a crashing.
Look how
wave.
fast that water is moving.
It's a breaking wave. You could surf that wave.
It got even bigger than this.
Crazy. So yeah, he luckily
this
Mark
was at like 15 inches. It's like basically white water. So I measure the water in the lowest spot where it is right in front of the dam. And at this point, it was just slightly larger than the storm we had 2 weeks ago. It didn't peak there. It got much higher than that.
Holy crap. So we'll give you guys a little. That was during the peak of it, right? That was like the highest water. Didn't it come over?
No, that wasn't.
Oh, that
you got higher than that. Coming over that barrier, right? So you have this barrier that you set up.
There's still electricity.
What is this barrier, Mark?
Never lost electricity. This is called a it's basically like this rubber dam that goes in front of the wall, because this is in a flash flood zone. Stuff like this happens actually in the past month. It happened 3 times, and then 2 years before that hasn't happened once. So I'm very cognitive of the weather, and actually the past 2 times weren't that bad. The time before this, I didn't even get a drop of water in. This time was the first time I really took it seriously. I knew it was going to get crazy. Those sandbags I bought that day. I went to Home Depot and I was just going to be crazy.
Mark, when are we going to get anti-gravity so you can float the building next time?
I know that's what everyone's telling me. We're working on it.
Actually,
yeah.
And what do you think about this? I just got back from Tesla Tech with a copy of Steve Ellswick's book. It's actually the first book ever written on HARP and some of the weather modification capabilities of HARP. I wonder if they're using
the way I understand that is
target our lab.
They're using like microwaves to energize the upper atmosphere, warm it up, and create like a high pressure zone.
Yeah.
That's it. So let's see like on the news report what happened. I want to show this this video here. It kind of shows what happened with the radar and everything. Again, this is from ABC 7. ABC 7. I'm using this your footage with Liberty's fair use, just so I can give some context. This is the dude. You have like 100 cars doing this right in front of your street, right?
No, I mean, it was way worse than this. The water was coming down, was moving really quickly, and the cars were actually getting picked up. She was saved by a signpost. If that signpost hadn't been there, she probably would have ended up in the Passaic.
Yeah, because
the water was high enough to take her over the barrier and into the river.
Yeah, she would have drowned. She would have. That's a massive river right there next to the lab. In fact, when they were showing this this particular footage of some of the worst parts, and they said in New Jersey, I was like, oh my God, that looks just like Mark's neighborhood right here. This overhead right here. This is literally like what you're like next to the lab looks like. This the Passaic.
That's Newark, yeah. Newark had the biggest rainfall in the history of recorded history, basically since Columbus.
Yeah, look at this. Historic rainfall.
Yeah, and that's pretty close to us. That is actually pretty close to us. We're probably
That's
in
insane.
the yeah.
How much, like, they have to be messing with the weather if in order to affect it like that much. That's like out. If it's historic, that means it's like off the charts. You know?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, we've been
of course,
seeing a lot of historic weather recently.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But they did.
I mean, I hope they would use
HAARP.
HAARP for good things. Like if it actually works, like imagine what we could do with that for the betterment of humanity. Like,
Well, that's the other thing too. We were having this whole
HAARP is also, if you see them setting up a HAARP system, you need to understand it's a system that will push hurricanes away because it's a high pressure creating zone. So, and hurricanes like low pressure. They're low pressure systems.
Mark, I want to see some pictures of the lab and inside.
Okay, so let me see if I can do this share screen. We tried this before.
I had this picture. Okay, so here's a picture. This is outside the lab.
Jeremy, can you see my share screen now?
You see that?
That is a dead fish we found in the parking lot.
Oh man, you know your lab was awfully close to actually floating finally.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Let me see if
We got a little flooding here in Mansfield too. I mean, you know.
Jeremy, can you see the play sandbags that I have here? Sandbags.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, man. 100 people died, man. It was a 500-year flood. Yeah.
So smart to get those sandbags, buddy.
Okay, so you got the sand. Can you see the sandbags now?
Yeah.
This was clearly totally natural weather. Nothing unusual about it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
first time I ever got sandbags. I got freaked out by a couple news reports.
It's obviously
I set 'em
just
up.
caused by the sun.
This was
It has
before
nothing
it
to do with-
started raining.
So smart, man. Way to listen to your
Oh, and
instincts.
check this out. So in the previous floods, they had this would get clogged with twigs and stuff. So I added this to give it more surface area. I'll let you know at the end how it worked out.
Oh,
Here it's
brilliant.
starting. Can you guys hear the audio?
Can you imagine how lost those fish must have been?
This is right in the beginning, literally right
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yeah, so
Not
this
much
is what
happening.
that little pathetic excuse for a storm drain that like basically runs directly underneath all these buildings right there.
Here, so now the water reached the top of the drain, where basically this little stream, the Goffle Brook, goes underneath the building, inside of a underground cavern. The building used to be a World War II munitions plant. That's when it was built. They're literally building bombs for that dropped on Hitler. The water's getting higher. At this point,
That's not cool.
where the water is getting close to the front door, this is nothing.
Man, this is so crazy.
Okay, look at that.
This is so crazy.
Holy.
It's
I
holding.
can't believe
There's
the
a car driving
electricity
by.
on. Why is the electricity on? Turn off the
That's
electricity.
what I was amazed
We
by,
have
right? The
prime
power
electricity.
stayed on.
It has never shut down here because we're connected to a prime grid. There's no trees next to it, so there's nothing to shut it off.
Wow. I would be so worried
Okay.
about trying a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, what
I don't know
happens
if you
is
guys can hear the audio, but I have it
a lot
going
of
here.
basements flooded, and there's a lot of people that refinish.
I
their
actually just
base-
said somebody's going to get stuck here eventually.
Called it.
I called it. And look at that. It's dry in the shop. So they held for a while. Oh, look at that. Here's a dumpster.
Oh god.
The dumpster, I think, is in Newark now.
Really, the
Dumpster
dumpster floated away, huh?
It completely
Gone.
floated away.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's down the river.
Yeah, well, like an iron hulled boat, it's like once it gets enough air and the buoyancy offsets it if it's not full. Just
Look at that. Crazy. People who just kept on going. They're like, fuck you. And oh, sorry. Look at that. No water in the shop yet. Everything's holding. we're good. I also got some grease and put it around the door dams in order to stop any tiny bit of water. The pump wasn't even running at full capacity, so there was air bubbles in that pump.
Yeah.
You can't even go outside. You can't even do anything to try to help anybody at that point in time. You get swept away if you would have.
So how that thing looks like it's about 2 feet tall.
Yeah, it's about 2 feet tall, maybe.
Yeah,
it's about 2 feet tall, maybe 26 inches or something like that.
2.5.
There's the pumps working,
and the water got so high that it came over the top of that.
Yep.
Yes, and this is a relatively low spot because we're dealing with, whitewater rapids. So at some spots it's over 7 feet tall. Like on the other side of the building, it was 7 feet tall, and there's no windows there and there's no doors. The water didn't come in from that side, which is amazing.
Dude, the bum sleeping in that dumpster.
Here's the dumpster floating away.
Look at it tipped over.
Bye. See you later.
Here it goes. Woo! It got stuck there for a little bit, and then it started to move again.
Yeah, then it goes to the river.
And then it went into the river. Okay, so now I went for a tour of the rest of the shop just to show you what was going on. There's a wave that's actually higher than the door dam already.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking assholes. Yeah, they literally destroyed our setup. Look at that. They fucked it up. Those are
no.
Oh yeah, they must have set awake.
Great, okay. Yeah, they really screwed with our setup. It let me see if I can.
Wow.
I think I just put down the phone at this time. We were concentrating on
fucked up.
We were just concentrating on what was going on, trying to get it organized again.
Yeah, well,
never seen the water this high. That bridge is gone.
That fire truck just it sent like a wave of water over the top.
Yeah, it sent a mini tsunami at us. Here's the new setup. Water's getting in now. I used metal stock from the CNC machine to reinforce it on top of the.
Yeah, that's even heavier than sandbags.
On top of the sandbags. Pinky's still unsure what's going on. She was standing up a couple times trying to look over the barrier to see what was going on.
She was freaking out.
Okay.
She was a little freaked out.
I bet.
And we're not even at peak yet. This is nowhere near peak. Oh, this is a crazy video. Now I'm going to show you what happens in whitewater rapids when you have a big block next to it. Look at that. It's kind of hard to see, but there is water gushing past this little door dam higher than the door dam.
Holy crap. Yeah,
I think I'm going to angle it again towards the end so you can see the water is actually higher than the door dam, but because of the
so dangerous, man.
Setup,
Lucky the whole building didn't get taken out, man.
Yeah, for real. I mean, that's old World War II construction. You're fine.
And here, water started coming in from the walls a little bit. You get a little bit of water sometimes, and it usually ends up behind the CNC machine. So I stuck a pump over there, and that pump is leading to outside. So if anything, piles up there, we'll be able to get it out. Now it's starting to get serious. The toilet was backing up. That was our solution. And later we had to put pieces from the more stock material from the CNC machine in order to keep that clogged. We basically shoved a whole bunch of rags in there and just pushed it down.
The back pressure. It's just a
you clogged
Tom,
the toilet.
You remember that?
You smart son of a bitch. You smart son of a bitch. You clogged the toilet. Good idea.
Now we're using batteries to hold it in place.
Everything.
I was like, this gotta end soon. Now's the crazy video.
No,
I told her to stop.
She's got a windshield.
Warned her not to.
Boom.
The water got a lot higher than this. The water got it was splashing almost to the top of her windshield.
Did she get out?
Oh, you're gonna see.
Oh no.
So there's the contact with the light pole, or with the pole there.
Saved her, literally. That is what saved her. And she might be in the comment section. She might be watching this live stream. So if she's out,
if you're there, if you're here, tell her, give her the link
us a holler.
so she can join. You got her number.
Yeah, I think her name is Susan.
Susan, I'm glad you're okay.
They left a note or something on the car, so I got her.
Oh.
Susan,
Okay.
what did your husband think? No.
Okay, now it's getting a little crazy.
What did
she
your
pulls out a
insurance
cigarette.
company say?
Oh, good God, that's got to be.
Yeah,
sad.
I think she smoked
Has
like
your
half a pack of
insurance agent
cigarettes in
seen
there.
the
Like,
video?
At this point, you
Okay.
got to think, water is probably getting in the car too. It's probably seeping in.
Oh,
and,
for
probably around her
sure.
leg.
Okay.
It's probably very
so
cold
after
already.
that happened, the water started to breach my barrier. It was breaching all the barriers, splashing over. The problem is that my barrier, if it went, the shop would be filled with 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you got to hold your ship, man.
So what we had to do, did you guys hear Tom, by the way?
He's literally like
Hello?
taking naval tactics to like secure
So
the
what
boat.
we did was Tom came down and helped me. We had to move all of the some of the sandbags and all of the CNC parts away so that I can close the door. And this is just to support the rubber thing behind it, minus whatever splashes through. And then as soon as we got that door closed, the overhead door started to buckle in from all the pressure. So I grabbed this pallet of scrap modules and we shoved it up against it and used those wedges to keep it out.
Ooh.
There's like 3 inches of water. Pinky was getting excited at this point. She was having fun.
I'm sure.
Oh wow!
This is at 3 inches.
And the electricity's on. Just a reminder.
Power's on.
Power's on. Yeah, look at that.
That's so terrifying.
Look at that. We're getting close to the Kepco over there.
Yeah.
We started to have to lift all the equipment off the floor. We are concentrated on stuff that are irreplaceable. And we'll get to that in a bit.
You guys. Oh, God.
This actually
that door
works.
is broken. It's pouring out of that door.
I'm so glad both of you are alive. Oh my God.
Yeah, that pump ain't doing shit.
There's a scenario.
Was
in which
anything
Walt
destroyed?
Disney's not happy.
Yes. We'll give you the rundown on that soon.
So glad Susan's alive as well. I hope she's in the chat.
If she's in the chat, then yeah, I sent her a link to the to your YouTube account, so hopefully she got the memo. Look, you can't even see the bridge anymore.
You could touch the river outside
You
the
could
window.
touch the river outside the window.
Yeah.
Oh my
Did you try to touch it?
No.
Holy schmolies. You guys.
Yeah, it's like not even. There's no more stream there. It's just like I'm in the middle of the river now.
It's like 2 realities juxtaposed. on each
Dude,
other. River
Kevin, you
reality,
missed that
your
part.
reality.
The
It's like,
water
oh,
was
yeah.
literally coming up out of the toilet pipe. The ship pipe was spewing water out from the back pressure.
Sink,
so they
sink
had
and
to
toilet.
plug
were
the
just-
toilet.
Water was pouring out
Sink
of it.
and the toilet, yeah. And we had to clog the toilet.
How bad did it smell?
Oh God, terrible.
Then it smelled pretty bad, but now it's actually
That's fine now.
it smells
We
pretty
cleaned
good.
everything up.
We
Yeah.
cleaned everything up. But also removing the water, there was so much rainwater mixed with a little bit of the sewage water. So
Did she
It
jump
didn't
up there
really-
by herself?
no, I actually had to put her up there. She was looking really scared, and there was
Yeah.
no
It's getting high.
place for her to sit anymore. So
Yeah.
I just stuck her up there. And
She's getting cold too.
okay, this is the exciting video.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah, it gets worse.
those firemen that we saw earlier destroying our dam with their fire truck, then went and got a front loader, strapped 2 firemen on the front of it. Now I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I managed to get the clip.
Oh, God. This is them saving Susan.
Yeah, this is how they saved
Susan.
Susan. So
Holy sh-
they're strapped to the bucket. This is a front loader. It has probably 2-3 foot wheels over there. They smashed the window, and they had her put that rope around her waist and pulled her
Trust
out.
Brenda. She's a waste management expert. So
There you go.
I think Tom, you got a copy of this as well from a different angle.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a lot of glare though.
Yeah, too much glare. Yeah, those headlights over here were pretty
Yeah.
bad. It was hard to get rid of the glare.
saving Private Susan.
Such a power move too to get the front loader in.
Did she get
Yeah,
out of
I
the
mean-
car? What I want to ask her, like, what happened? Because obviously she had the windows rolled up and the doors closed. Like, how long did it take for the entire car to fill up with water? That's what I want to know. Is it like sealed?
She was probably shivering. It got worse than this after they pulled her out. The water came up to almost, it was splashing over the car.
Man,
but it was like solid.
Susan is out of the car. She's in the bucket.
Thumbs up.
She's out of the car. She's in the bucket. They're backing up right now.
Look at those guys. They risk their lives to go in there.
Heroes right there. All right, man. You guys are heroes. Those people are heroes. That's awesome.
That's
pretty darn clever use of city equipment, eh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they actually use this in the winter for snow removal. So I've actually seen this exact piece of equipment before. Pretty clever idea.
Yeah.
At first, right when she got stuck, there was a fire truck that was debating whether to go in or not. Like the fire truck ran up to the edge and then stopped right there. They got cold feet at the last second. This was a life and death situation. If the car would have not hit the sign for the Pythagoras restaurant, it probably would have been washed down the stream. That dumpster that you saw before is gone. We have no idea where it is.
Yeah, she got really lucky. Really lucky. And I bet if that fire truck would have stopped, it would have risked getting turned around. Like its momentum is keeping it going, right? Like through the pulse of that flow, and it could have been a dangerous situation for sure if that thing got.
Okay, so here's the lab at almost full high tide. We're almost there at the peak.
Oh my God, Pinky's bed's floating. Oh, there's the power supply.
Yeah, I think that thing will survive for. We couldn't lift it.
Too wet. It was up on elevated a little bit at least.
Unbelievable.
I think it'll be okay because there's an internal platform in that thing too. I think.
I didn't plug it in. I didn't do anything with it. We have some isopropyl alcohol. I was thinking of spraying.
The real thing is that.
Oh, you know what? It will be okay because that transformer that's in there facing down, that's a totally sealed can all the way through and through. It's an oil-filled transformer that's solder sealed. So that will be usually the part that would get damaged is the transformer, but luckily that thing is sealed up. And the second row on the high part of that thing has the transformer, so it's good.
So
Jeremiah actually knows.
How is the electricity still going in this place? I don't.
It never turned off. So that power supply that we saw before, Jeremy picked it up on Craigslist, brought it here to the lab, and then Jeremiah was the one who fixed it, or got rid of all the safety features so that
we had to flip it around too. We removed all the interlocks because they had.
There was also the wrong output. We needed a negative output.
So we had to flip all the rectifier diodes, totally invert the system, invert the metering circuitry so that it would still read correctly.
Holy Christ, dude. What a disaster. So this is at Hawthorn, New Jersey, where our lab is, and this it actually got hit the biggest. There was a historic record rainfall right in this part of the state, and so we got hit really, really bad. We were almost ground zero for the storm, and being in a flood zone next to this overflow, into the river. It was
the CNC machine.
Just glad you guys are okay and safe, man.
Yes, and that's what's most important. And we're also happy that Susan survived. That was really scary for
the insurance company. Did you show this to the insurance company?
No, I didn't. The fan survived too. It was covered in water, but it survived.
Pinky survives. Pinky and the brain are still here, so.
Yeah, well, we had to get a selfie.
We don't have to contact FEMA.
Look at that, 9 inches.
Yep.
Still 9 inches.
9 inches. Is that the
9
mark?
inches? It didn't go past 9 inches.
Got so lucky to only get 9 inches of water in the building, considering that in order for you to have that, it's probably at least, it's what you said the gates are 26, right? So it's got to be 28, 29 inches high outside your door. And somehow you only got 9 inches. By miracle.
I just showed again, 9 inches was the max we got in the lab.
Pinky would have been like swimming around in there, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she would have she would have been in really
did
bad
she just
shape.
hang out and like stay up high, or did she like?
Yeah, she just stayed up high. But later, I'm going to show you guys what happened to my neighbors. Holy crap!
Yes, come on, show more destruction.
Okay, so it's starting to calm down already. You see the water. Yeah. You're able to see the bridge now. I'm going to go back on that again. Look, you're able to see the bridge now. So that's our gauge for outside. You're able to see the ripple of the gate of the bridge. Okay, I'm just talking. I know you can't hear me on that. Yeah, this is what the lab looks like now. This was at the peak, and you're able to see how. Look, there's all the extra metal that we added to the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
I got cut on
the toilet. Did you? No, I don't know. I got cuts all over my hand.
Oh.
And I had to clog the sink as well with rags. So it was like sewage coming up out of everything.
Yeah.
Mother Nature.
I think the electromagnet
pump
doesn't
running, and what are those floodgate things called? Where can people buy those floodgate things?
They're called floodgate. They are very expensive. I will tell you that, and they need to be sized perfectly for your door. Just Google it. I mean, you're look to spend like $5,000-$6,000 for a small one or something. They are very expensive, but they came with the building. They're actually like the landlord promised to actually update one of them. And
wow.
Maybe
if he did, it would have been much better. Look, we used a pallet jack in order to save that one because we ran out of pallets.
Ask your landlord to add another 6 or 12 inches to that gate, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I asked him to replace the entire big one. The other two are fine.
And then what happens if the power went out? Your sump pumps and everything wouldn't even work. So
well, the sub pumps can't do anything for this. Oh, this is way too much water. True. My neighbor had 6 sump pumps and a 2-inch gas pump that he rented from Home Depot, and we'll see what happened there.
So let's do some math here. That your shop's about 3,000 square feet, right?
Yeah, it's 3,000 square feet. Why are we putting
paper towels, baby?
Why are we putting paper towels down? Well, there was a bit of an oil spill as well.
On top of everything.
On top of all that shit, there was a bottle of oil that just flipped over. And we had this idea, throw down paper towels on it because the paper towel will suck up the oil, which is floating on the top, and then you just throw out the paper towels in the garbage.
Seemed to work a bit.
Yeah, it worked pretty well, actually.
Yeah. I thought you were totally joking about that, but you were literally, again, solving a problem.
Yeah, we were reinforcing the door using batteries.
Great job, guys.
That's about 16,000 gallons that are in the shop right there, according to my calculation.
I'm showing you like the water levels outside are like, yeah, there was water that high next to the door, like, and it just fell down because it was on top of a planter. That's what pushed it upwards. We're talking about like whitewater rapids right outside the shop.
So if you had a 20-gallon a minute pump, it would take you.
It's
14 hours.
This is. We can see the grass again.
Oh, great! Oh, good.
No, wait, that was hours.
Okay, now I'm outside. It's about 3 a.m.
800.
The car, it's just a little bit over there, a little bit at its tires. There's trees stuck everywhere. I'm walking along, just showing where the water levels are. Now we're going to go check out Porphyrio Wood Shop.
It would take you.
Now I'm walking over here. I'm walking through like 2.5 feet of water. It's not gushing. The water level got higher than this top step at its highest. This is their. This is one of their extra pumps that they got. Now there was about 2 feet of water inside at this time, but at its peak it was much higher, and we'll show you that in a moment. These tables over here were covered. It was a swimming pool.
Oh gosh, nothing will ever be level if it's.
No, actually the floor in some spots rose over a foot. Compared to
I know. It was
big
a joke.
slabs.
It was a
and some
joke.
of
I
them
was
rose.
just joking around about them messing with the weather earlier, guys. In case you weren't, I was just joking around about the HARP stuff. I don't think they're really messing with the weather on the lab. It's really global warming. We need to reverse.
I think that if it might work if they used enough power, but it would be. I mean, why would they be using it? Is it to mitigate damage or is it to cause damage?
No, I think they got it to rain. I think they figured out how to make it rain. I think China has
Hey,
a weather program.
So
at least
these
there's
are
no
piles
sharks
of
in that
MDF.
water.
Yeah, but this is the thing that that's just absolute loss.
That's
right
a good
there.
point, man. If it was a Sharknado, it would have been way worse.
I mean, look at this. Everything got destroyed here. It's like complete.
Look how much wood is.
I mean, could you just imagine a giant shark?
Look at the
just
water
swimming
level
through
there.
that?
Oh yeah.
I mean, these
It's deep
stacks
enough.
of wood lifted up. I'm standing right now in about 18, 20 inches of water. This water came up to above my knees at this point.
That
This
water
was
very
it
brown.
was already dropping at this point.
All of that inventory is just gone. That's just money gone right there. That's just money.
Yeah, I offered actually to buy some of the wet MDF and use it as tie downs for the CNC machine, work holding.
Poor family.
I've done that before. It actually works.
I hope they're protected. This is just devastating to look at for a wood making company.
Back there is the lathe that Jeremiah and me worked on.
It sucks because these are probably family businesses.
Yeah, I know this guy. I actually rent a storage unit from him.
Yeah.
We do anti-gravity, work in this shop too. We worked on this lathe to make the EPR NMR spintronic alignment rig, electromagnet. That thing was completely covered in water.
Yeah, absolutely ruined.
You're looking at well over
see so much equipment
in
that's
damage.
just
Probably like 250K in damage here.
Oh yeah.
We don't even know if the CNC machine's working. We don't know shit.
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
Look at that, dude. It's gonna take a whole bunch of work to rehabilitate those machines. I mean, a lot of them can be saved.
It's crazy.
But it's gonna cost.
They
money.
haven't turned anything on. Their plan is to wait until Tuesday, drying everything off as best they can.
Yeah.
It was scary walking through this water. Look at that. The whole thing's just floating.
Hey, you want to open this? You want to open lines, guys?
1 second. I do have a couple more. Okay, this is the other neighbor across the street, the Batagua restaurant. So that was the signpost that the car hit and got stuck on.
Lloyd, go back to that. Oh,
yeah. Man.
What a save, huh?
Yeah,
that's
totally.
A miracle.
What
Susan, you ought to be thanking your angels right now, Susan.
So they have this giant tent set up for their COVID parties.
Gotcha.
And this is all that would have been blocking her from going into the river. Don't forget that dumpster went into the river.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's it's got to be next to a river. If there's a water outlet, that's the river right there. It's got to be super close.
That's Goffle Brook. That's it. That's the continuation of Goffle Brook.
She was so close to not making it out of that. Yeah. So close.
Oh yeah, if she went a little further down and through that and hit that wood fence past the Jersey barrier, she would have gone right through it and down.
There could have been nothing. You wouldn't have been able to do anything either in that moment. You couldn't have saved her. You couldn't have done anything. It just would have been one of those terrible moments that you were watching. Oh, thank God she's okay.
This was a tent at one point. Now it's just a bunch of mangled metal.
Hey, maybe the highway department and city planning can review that video and
fix it.
Yeah, fix that.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's like World War II construction that stuck around that needs to be addressed for
Look at that, all that mangled aluminum rebar there.
That's crazy.
Right? Come on. Hey,
metal.
so we got a Bitcoin link in the description. I don't know. We were going to set up a GoFundMe for a relief fund for some of this. But Mark, you seem to like you just need volunteers mostly.
This is Tom Butler, by the way, the guy who was helping me out. And this is when we were just like done.
Yeah, just
we could not do any cleanup.
No muss.
Great job, Tom.
That's just me just talking. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Now on my way home, check this out. Cars were just stuck everywhere.
Yeah.
These are cars blocks away from me that just got so much water that they ran just abandoned. And this has been happening in New York City a lot too.
Yeah.
Brooklyn and
oh yeah, everywhere. It looked like a zombie apocalypse afterwards.
Are they working?
Zombie apocalypse.
Are they just done? No, that guy's done. His car's not working.
He's like so upset. Probably. It's like
my Chevy Bolt has this water sloshing sound, but nothing's wrong with it. It's driving fine.
Is this guy a mechanic? What was he saying?
That's it. He was not a mechanic. He was this is some more pictures that I took the next morning. This is the continuation of the brook. Look at that. Look at that park bench. There's the brook. Here's the park bench. Look how much crap was all over the place. There were fish on the
wow.
This is the next.
Are you going to get desiccant for the lab to like dry everything out, or is it good?
Oh, there's fish.
We got a commercial dehumidifier. I think a month ago.
Fish.
And it's running right now. There's fish in a puddle. There were kids actually grabbing the fish and trying to save them. There were a couple kids.
You have to like imagine because I always wondered how the heck did fish end up in like these rivers and streams and stuff in random places, and it has to have been through historic floods.
Yeah, like whales in South America. How do they get inland like that? Yeah. Yep.
You can see Pinky running up ahead.
Hey, what's up, Bernie? Welcome to the stream.
Right, and like Lake Titicaca or Lake.
Here, check this out. The barrier came down.
Stuff in it.
And here's the dead fish you showed earlier. And that is pretty much it. Like, that's what happened.
Lake Titicaca.
Gotta love the 1,000-year floods that happen every 10 years now.
Right.
1 second.
That's crazy.
Jesus.
Glad you guys are okay.
Yeah, this was a historic flood in this whole area, and Mark's right, our lab's right there, so we got hit with a ton of water. If those of you just tuning in, we're going over some of the flood damage. Mark, you want to show some of the recovery and cleanup efforts? You want to show us the lab now?
Okay, yeah. So today, yesterday we were just too wiped from fighting the water. We got other stuff to do. We couldn't do a full cleanup. We did get all the water down, but that's not the main issue. Getting the water down, that happened in an hour. The problem is getting all of the silt out. And that was what we were working really hard today. And I'm going to take the laptop and give you guys a little bit of a tour and show you what's happening. Okay, so this is where it was the deepest. That UPS down there is broken. I'm not sure about the fridges. There's the dehumidifier. There's Tom. Tom, we're going to go for a walk now.
Let's go.
Okay, so there's the power supply.
This evening in the Northeast will go down as a day in weather history, not only because of...
That's right, guys.
That's the Faraday cage. The office throughout the rug. It was gone. I think the power supplies made it.
Yeah.
It would only be the bottom one if anything happened, but I don't think it touched.
No, it didn't.
Are you gonna? We should get insurance to pay for a new floor, man. You got to get that floor. That floor's got to go, man.
No, you know what's got to go? Falcon Space has got to go. We need to move to a bigger location. We need to take anti-gravity to stage 2 and start building an actual
I like what you're saying, buddy.
Insurance,
Yes.
claim the insurance and turn it into an anti-gravity craft so flooding never affects you again, right?
And we need to all be in the same place with a friggin' facility where we can all like go and.
Yep. And getting everyone in the same place is actually the hard part.
That would be the best, dude. We could all have.
Here's our OSHA approved humongous fan.
I think that's going to involve some sort of portal technology being deployed for us to all simultaneously be in the same place.
I don't know. We could create the anti-gravity mecha, dude. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, fingers and you're there to pick everybody up. There you go. It's like knocking on your neighbor's door. Once you got the craft,
Here's the damage to this door. It's still like shoved outwards a bit. I'm surprised I'm still getting a signal here, but there's a humongous dumpster out here along with our forklift. There's the door dam.
Yo, I heard there's some sick stuff going on in Hawaii.
Destroyed.
I wouldn't mind moving to Hawaii.
Back inside.
That's where it's going down.
You me both, buddy.
Yeah, we filled up like a 20-yard dumpster. Also, this gave us the opportunity to optimize the shop for better setup. So, because we took everything out of the shop before cleaning the floor. So, we have a much spacier setup right now. It's much more optimized for, working on stuff. We're actually going to be running some discs. We're going to be cutting out of aluminum and copper later. I should have them ready over here. And we're not stopping. The biggest storm of the century can't stop us.
You need a stabilization, man. I got to get you a gimbal.
Oh, I'm on a laptop. I'm just running around with a laptop.
Oh, I'm ready to throw up, man.
And seasick. Okay, here we are. Back at the lab. Discuss. What do you guys think? Any
mold problems? You said you have as long as you get rid of what you're using, fantastic, not bleach, not Clorox.
We also have some mold remediation syrup or something that we got. We're gonna put it down later. First, we're letting everything dry up.
I want chemicals. Read me the active ingredients. Let's go.
Are they superconductors?
No. They were just out of superconductors at Home Depot. That's what's up.
If we sublimate it to a aluminum oxide barrier with a
the high voltage potential, maybe we could make scalar waves to part the seas and stop the water from coming in.
No, right?
That would be pretty cool if we got
a Noahide stuff right there.
We got to figure out
using
technology.
That would get you on the news.
Yeah, using linear scalar waves or something like that to push the water back.
What about that? There was that stuff that they used to use in the hospital.
I mean, that's probably how they did it in the Exodus, right? That's how the aliens did it.
I agree. And now we're coming up with real startup ideas for some serious investments, eh?
You guys ever heard of this stuff before?
Environmental protection.
Simple Green. Yeah, we got some of that.
It's they found it was banned by something, or I heard
Is it good for
good old
mold?
Pine Sol, Now that we're talking about cleaners and stuff, But that Simple Green stuff, I don't know. I don't like the smell of it. I love the smell of Pine Sol.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, you talked earlier about moving or getting a place where everyone can go. Right now, the place that everyone can go is here. We do have a lab house. Everything is set up. To move everything would take months and a lot of coordination and getting everyone to agree on a spot. Me and you have children. There's a lot of issues with setting up such a place. But for now, this is what we got. And when we're ready for stage 2, it needs to be fucking really big. And we're talking 15 to 20,000 square feet tons of equipment. This is tens of millions of dollars, if not 100, to gear up to actually build a prototype craft and do it right. And then from there, once we get a prototype craft, you're talking billions in order to mass produce that kind of stuff. Which, in the greater scheme of things, is not that much money for the return. You're talking about making
basically all you're saying is it's like starting a car company. It's like starting any other car company, any other transportation vehicle company. It's
like starting a company like Tesla. Yes, it totally is. It's literally you're trying to start the Model T Ford of flying saucers.
Model T Ford of flying saucers, man. No, we're a little bit before Model T. We're actually with
we're figuring out how the internal combustion engine works right now.
Yes, we're inventing internal combustion. We haven't even figured out combustion. We haven't even figured out, we're still trying to find the gas and oxygen ratios to make a perfect air fuel mixture.
But once we figure that out, I think the growth will be stupendous because the equipment to take it full scale already exists.
So let's switch gears now. Let's talk shop on some future experiments and some anti-gravity stuff.
Well, sorry.
One thing I'm really grateful for a package that came late, and this is the pallet of amplifiers that we were going to get from Albuquerque. They were not delivered, so they did not get damaged because I would have had nowhere to put them, no way to raise them, and those are stuff that are.
That was in the back of my mind.
Where's Pinky right now?
Pinky is actually at the house. She's,
liar.
No, she's not here.
We need proof that she's alive and survived the storm.
She's alive. She survived the storm.
If you guys post a wallet for Cardano, I will donate 150 to your cause of cleaning up because the crypto market has been very kind to me the past few weeks. So we'll gladly make a donation.
Guys, you hear that? Help and money is pouring in. We really appreciate everything. What we could really use right now is competent engineers in the lab. More of those, more assistance, just everything that could possibly make it happen. And I mean, the goal is to make it happen. It doesn't necessarily need to happen here. I just want it to happen. It just needs to happen. And we need to push for this. We need to see our flying saucers. We want them. We're going to make them happen. No matter what.
Well, I'd be there if I could. Man, I wish I was still in New York.
Where do you live now?
I'm in Oklahoma. I'm not anywhere near you.
I actually flew out to Oklahoma to empty out Chris Hardiman's lab.
Yeah, man, I caught the tail end of that. I wish I knew in advance. I would have tried to at least come up to see you and say what's up, and because it was pretty close. So that's cool though.
Yeah, I think the main commodity that people have a hard time with nowadays is time. We went through a period where everyone had way too much time on their hands with nothing to do, to a period where everyone has no time on their hands with tons of stuff to do. So
for me, nothing really changed. It was always just a continual demand to keep the business going and keep the clients happy. And so,
what do you do?
This is what I do on a Friday night. There's nothing I'd rather be doing.
I'm a medical illustrator, and so I do. It's all very contract client based sort of stuff, and so it's science communication. And so I've worked from home for decades.
I mean, if you can work remotely, basically the way it works here in the lab is Tom also has a day job. He's actually you want to tell him about
athletic trainer at a high school.
Trainer at a high school.
Yeah, I'm there after school for all the sports, and then after that, anti-gravity.
Nice.
Yes, it's amazing. And he's actually an employee of Falcon Space. Yeah. First salaried employee.
That's cool,
actually
man.
1099 for now.
That's very cool.
Yeah, he comes down here. He's super passionate about it. He started off as a
just helping out.
Just helping out, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I told Jeremiah I'm super happy to help you guys with whatever I can do, in whatever way. But I don't know what will be relevant, but the offer is there. So
Okay.
Awesome.
I mean, what are you good at?
visualization. When you need to tell a story and you need to actually visualize that and put it into some type of narrative experience.
Oh, okay. So you'd be good for setting up like a preview for investors.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a slideshow for investors.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
else?
Yeah. 3D animation is really what people come
yeah,
to
we can
for.
use you for that. But that's another project. That's a media project. We
But,
need a
yeah.
3D animator for to explain some of the theories, like in a
Oh, yeah,
really,
that's right.
really dumbed
You're
down
not live on
version.
YouTube?
If you really want to hear what I'm really hot to work on right now is a visualization for the idea of space and the idea that intrinsic to space is tension, and gravity is a factor of compression of that tension in relation to its diameter and mass. I think that's a really unique visualization that's never been explained before. It's a really hot topic.
Well, okay. Can you make it?
Yeah, I've already thought about it. I know exactly what I want to make.
Go for it.
I'd love to have support, like from people to say, like, yeah, okay, well, alphanumerically, we can generalize things to these parameters to make it sense for the audience. But if we want to talk about how mass affects that, what does that look like? I don't really have a great explanation for that yet, but I have everything for the radius of something. I think I do.
Nassim Harriman would probably be a good group of researchers to approach with that project for the actual mathematics of what you're talking about, Carl.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
The Resonance Academy.
Hmm.
Schwarzschild proton paper. Something to look into for sure. I'm just going to quickly say here, Jeremy, that we got you booked for 2 hours on September 11th with Leak Project for a September 11th kind of
Wait,
extravaganza
we're having
special.
APEC on September 11th.
So, yeah, this is going to be later on at night. It's in the evening time. And hopefully I can get Rex to partake maybe a little bit in APEC as well.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Because, he's got 380,000 subscribers on his channel that are all very like-minded people. And a lot
Maybe you could do it before APEC.
Interviews is what you guys are doing.
Maybe if you did it before APEC, then you can get all those subscribers onto APEC.
Yeah.
We will make it work. Yeah.
Can we
Well,
reschedule
I
it
also
till, like,
have a
1
2 hour
p.m.
with him
Eastern
on
time?
Thursday, on the September 10th, and then Jeremy will be with him for 2 hours on September 11th in the evening time. I believe it's 10 p.m. Eastern that he's got you scheduled for.
So after the conference?
Yeah, after the conference.
Bernie, are you going to become Jeremy's scheduler?
I'm helping work with it. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
I suck at scheduling, man. I get people like oh,
I think I threw you a couple interviews here and there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something I'm naturally good at from when I own my own promotions company and have done events and done lots of music festivals, shows, and stuff like that. So it's just a talent that comes naturally for me. So I'm also
I've written
been
some
approaching,
stuff
lining
too.
up for Belly to do a couple more episodes to come on, as well as Bob with Martin Fleischman Project here. So I'll let you guys know once I get confirmation times on those as well.
Love to test that stuff out, man. I'd love to do some spectroscopy before and after tests, like live. If you have an experiment where for sure you can produce transmutation, we'll do like a we'll run spectroscopy before. You can run an experiment live, and then we can run spectroscopy after, and then show like that.
100%. That is definitely the next step to evolve my research for sure.
that's where I'd like to take you with your research and the stuff that, you know, Esoteric Gold and also Martin Fleischman Memorial Project.
100%.
Bob Greenier, was that his name?
I believe so.
Yeah, all these guys are onto some interesting stuff, and I would love to dig into that. I'd love to reach out to some of those guys over at Resonance Project too. I have a couple friends that are, you know, somewhat connected with them, and
yeah, I'm actually still a member in the Resonance Delegate Projects, and I get their emails. I've been talking to a couple of them, Jamie Janover and Adam Apollo there, so I will be able to work something in line with them as well to get something scheduled in the near future.
all right. Is this power lines? Oh no, that's the police. That's the dumpster floating away.
Mm.
Is that the beginning of the dumpster?
This does look
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
we dropped Bernie. I don't know what happened to him, but he lost him. I think he's in his car. So, is this UFOs outside the lab too? These are all the WhatsApp videos. Here we go.
Oh, this is not the flood stuff.
Yeah, we saw most of it already.
Yeah.
Dang, that's when it just took over.
yeah, that's where it's going downhill fast.
Look at how fast that's that's vanishing. Oh man, if I was there, I would have been taking footage the entire time.
Maybe not. We were dealing with a life and death situation.
Yeah.
In between the footage.
I know, right? Ah, dang, there's the dumpster. It's starting to fill up. These cars are still getting away with it. That's what this woman probably did earlier. She came by. She's like, you know what?
Hey, was this hurricane related, or was this just a storm?
Yeah, this was after effect of Ida, right?
This was
This was
Ida.
Oh, I think you guys have more hurricanes coming your way too.
Super.
Really?
Yeah, I think I heard something on the news today that there's a hurricane coming up towards the Mid-Atlantic. I just looked on the weather. I didn't see it, so it might not be developing anymore. But that was something that was said.
All right, so let's get in. I wanted to get into some. I wanted to get into more science and stuff too. With damn. Now that we got Carl here, sorry to interrupt you.
Noise.
Keep going.
Oh no, I was just going to tell you, buddy. Like the hurricanes are going to keep on coming. The season's on. You know, like that's where the Spurs are looking.
Started.
So it's hurricane season. There's good waves all up and down the East Coast right now, and unfortunately, there's going to be some storms for people in the low-lying areas. Sorry, but this is awesome. This article is amazing. I saw this, buddy, and this was just like it just lit my brain on fire.
Heck yeah! So this was really, really cool. Researchers create a new state of light, University of Dayton, and this is one of those search terms that I just go and, you know, I always find new stuff on, and I swear that they've changed the search terms, and there's other literature on this under different search terms you can find too. But spatio-temporal optical vortices, they're called. Whole bunch of jargon for a donut, a flying donut pulse of light, and these vorticular or toroidal pulses of light are super, you know, weird and funky, and then they lead to new topological forms of light too, because now you can make a torus, you can punch another hole in it and punch and bend it and twist it in different ways, topologically. So pretty neat stuff, especially when they look at how these things travel through space. But this, I think, is the key to ball lightning. This is how I think ball lightning is formed and trapped and kept in a this sort of plasma state, is sort of recycled or kept stabilized. I think there's a lot to learn here, and we're not going to talk too much about the experiments being done with that, but let's just say there's some interesting stuff. This is another interesting article. Vibrations increase on cooling anti-freezing observed. In virtually all matter, low temperatures mean less movement of its microscopic components. The less heat energy is available, the less often atoms change their location or magnetic moments of their direction. They freeze. An international team led by scientists from HZB and DESI has now observed for the first time the opposite behavior in a nickel oxide material closely related to high-temperature superconductors. Fluctuations in this nickelate do not freeze on cooling but become faster. We use the innovative technique of X-ray correlation spectroscopy to observe them. So the observation may help to better understand high-temperature superconductivity in copper oxides or cuprates, which has been ongoing research since their discovery at University of Alabama, Huntsville, back in the 90s. In cuprates, stripe order similar to that in nickelates is thought to compete with superconductivity. There too, the stripe order decays at low temperatures, which has been explained as superconductivity. Setting it at low temperatures suppresses the stripe order, since there is no superconductivity in nickelates, but the stripe order nevertheless decays at low temperatures. An important aspect seems to be missing from the present description of cuprate superconductivity. It's possible that the stripe order in cuprates is not simply suppressed, but also decays for intrinsic reasons, thus clearing the field for the emergence of superconductivity. A deeper understanding of this mechanism could help control superconductivity. So again, it's lots of research has been going on in what's called topological, these topological states and topological insulators and topological. So that's another thing, another key search term when I go to look up news. Let's look up topological. Everything topological is super fascinating to me, especially because it all relates to solid state theory and also electron flows, and which is it's super connected to superconductivity. They have BCS theory and these ideas of how superconductivity works, but they're kind of based on these topological states. But researchers are starting to find more of them, and it's expanding our theory of superconductivity, basically. So
I think that from what I'm picking up is that there's a lot more material and strategies for creating superconductivity, for creating voids for different types of fields and electron flow. And that's incredibly interesting, that there's more than one solution. That's why the Pais patent I thought was such a real unique thing, was that there's more than just super cooled versions of this, and now there's all different kinds of materials that are operating at different temperatures doing the same things. It's very exciting.
Heck yeah. Well, I didn't want to keep this going much beyond an hour and stuff. Do you guys want to show any more videos or talk about stuff? Oh, Cheddar Bob, if you live in Huntsville, please reach out. We'd like a good contact there. That would be useful.
We have a couple other experiments going on.
Hey, I'm gonna leave the stream open. I want to go grab a beer real quick. I want to open it up to the chat so people want to know how they can join. So there's the link. If you guys want to join on, I'd love to have you guys on. Even Mike.
Even Mike.
No, I'm just kidding. Mike wants he wants to come on and get and
I think Alien Girl's on as well. She was posting before, and there was some
people join. I'm
news.
gonna go grab a beer. I'll be right back. 1 sec.
Okay, so Carl, something I was going to tell you about the graphic design that you wanted to make.
Yeah, please.
Is this something that you've done for a living before, or?
Yeah. I've been doing this on my own for 15 years.
Okay.
But not for space, not for anything like all biotech, pharmaceutical sort of stuff.
Okay, so maybe email me some of your work. There's actually a paid position to do that. There will be a paid position probably in the next 90 days to do something like that for a very large commercial venture in movies. What I can't really talk about it so much on air because it's still in the preliminary setup stage, but it could be really big. We are looking for a graphic artist of that caliber that can.
Cool. And if I'm not the right person, I'll tell you that immediately and point you in the right direction.
Basically, what we want is like to show a graphic of electrons spinning around, the atom, and then you go into the atom and you see the quarks spinning around, and then you see how their orientations are changing, they're wobbling, and then they become oriented. We're trying to get the idea of dynamic nuclear orientation, where they're wobbling before, and then they become oriented, and how that changes its connection to space-time. Also, there's a couple other effects like standing waves and magnetism.
That's great.
Lots of stuff just to explain this stuff in a visual sense.
Hi, Brenda. Hi, Dr. Hongo.
Oh, look, we just got lots of new people. Hongo, and I can't read that. And Brenda. Oh, hey, Brenda.
Hey.
Hi, Brenda.
How are you guys?
So Brenda is the well, tell us, Brenda. What do you worked with Tesla Tech? Yeah, we met at Tesla Tech, and Jeremy Reese was there as well. Where's Alien Girl? She was there as well. That was
let's get Alien Girl on here.
So there's Brenda's channel. If you guys click on her name, I don't know if you can go to her channel through the live chat, but definitely leave a comment in the main comment section on the video so people can check out your channel too, Brenda.
Yeah. So thanks for letting me join.
Brenda, you want to talk about fluoride?
There's all kinds of things I would love to talk about.
Or space shit.
I love your how you clogged your toilet. That was really smart.
Yeah, it was coming out of the toilet, so you got to clog the toilet.
I work in wastewater for the.
You got some serious plumbing where you work. You made a video that you showed us at the.
Go to the videos, yeah.
So everyone, there's a little
right here, right?
project that me and Brenda were talking about.
Which is the one?
That one, that's one of the shitty ones. That one's like, where does your shit go?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I knew kind of some of this stuff, but I didn't know it on the level that you know it as a scientist that works there.
Can you click it and play like a little bit? Just a little.
This one?
Tape. The one with the shit rolling behind me, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
Full screen.
Do you ever wonder where your shit goes after you flush the toilet?
Yes. Hilarious.
It's freezing up for me, but yeah. So I work with a lot of shit.
There it is.
That's like after it's digested. So it's really gross to see like a turd come through. Campers will come and like unload their shit and sometimes they clog up the system, and you have to go out there and like help them unclog it. And there's like, you see people's turds. It's just nicer to see it when it's all like earthy dirt material.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to narrate it, and I'll put the sound off because I'm like,
Sure. These are the aeration tanks. Most of the work in a wastewater plant is done by these microbes that we pump tons of oxygen in. And we have a couple generators. They're about 250 kilowatts each. And then we also have another one that runs part of this system. So people
What are you
flush
talking about right now?
condoms, and you know, they're used condoms.
people. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff people flush down the toilet,
And their
right?
baby wipes. That stuff doesn't belong in the toilet. And yeah, so that's my day job. And then my side gigs are I waitress sometimes, but not so much since COVID. And then I work on fluoride. I have a lawsuit against the United States Environmental Protection Agency over the neurotoxicity of the fluoride chemicals that they add to our drinking water supply. We've been in federal court since 2017. We go back on September 14th, and it's all over Zoom because of COVID. And we're in federal court in Berkeley, California, using the Toxic Substances Control Act to stop adding something that's hazardous or harmful to the population, to everyone's drinking water. And
Wow.
so, you know, if anyone wants to donate to that, we have a lot of lawyer fees, and our lawsuit's actually going to be extended. We thought it was going to be done before 2021, and we spent like $500,000 on that. But at least like we're not losing, you know, like
Yeah,
in the
this is your
past.
newest video too. Check, guys, go and check this one out. And it's how to find out if your community adds fluoride to your drinking water.
New Jersey doesn't add a lot of fluoride. Most of New Jersey is not fluoridated. Out of all the states, New Jersey is one of the least. And they actually, like, they say, oh, you know, the states that have the least have really bad tooth decay, but New Jersey doesn't. And I think it's probably because they have a higher standard of living.
Who's selling the fluoride, and where's
My
the
brother
fluoride
did a
coming
bunch of
from?
research on the fluoride thing, and I was shocked what he showed. Some of the stuff.
Yeah. So the fluoride that my community gets is from.
It's like
the
it should be
phosphate
optional if
fertilizer
people
industry.
want to use fluoride for treatment, and they've done the research on it, and they know like they're okay and they're comfortable with it. But adding it just universally to our drinking water is like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Like, why not add vitamin D or C or something that we need? You're using, you know, this waste
Yeah,
product.
why not like make it mineral spring water? Like, you know, find out whatever they got to add to it to make it more like Poland spring, or like, you know, the best spring water, and you know,
It's more like what they have to remove from it.
take out the lead, and yeah, the lead in our pipes for real. Well, you know, they used to
Brenda,
call
where
it
does
plumbing.
fluoride come from?
It's from the phosphate fertilizer industry. When they mine the fertilizer, they add sulfuric acid to break apart the fluoride from the phosphate, and it makes this gas. And they can't let it out the smokestacks because it cripples the animals and it causes blight to the crops, so the crops fail. So it really upsets farmers, and so they have to capture it. And it also, like, the workers that would work around this stuff would have like central nervous system damage and mental confusion, which a lot of the studies now that have been done since 2017, or at least published since 2017, have all found, not all of them, but the best studies have found that fluoride is a neurotoxicant, and it lowers IQ and increases ADHD and all these problems. So we got to get it over our water for those of us that still have it. That's my big project I've been working on. But then I'm also working on a space toilet.
Whoa, yes.
In my spare time.
We're actually going to the Interstellar Research Group to talk to the Habitat people about that. That's later this month.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can share links to that conference in the chat. of this.
Can you you can share your screen and I'll give you the.
Hang on, let me try the chat. Does that link?
Oh, here we go.
There you go. That's it. It's the first day, I think, at noon. So Friday at noon is the there's going to be like a workshop. The afternoon seminar, the one to the right. Challenge of closed loop bioregenerative support for long duration space exploration. That one. That's basically the habitat system, the space shitting device that Brenda is working on.
Wow. Yes, you're going to design our UFO's toilet system.
We're thinking it's probably only worthwhile for a like interstellar craft. What we're building right now is the shuttle crafts. They're going to have a bag. There's not enough room, or maybe a diaper. I don't know.
Just don't eat, so then you don't shit. Live on air and light.
Everybody's going to be on the keto diet by then, so.
So we'll eat each other.
No, you're used to fasting.
Oh, I thought keto like eat meat.
Well, that's true. That's probably what the robots will live on. But of course, you're the expert.
You know what an expert is? It's an X, and a spurt is or an X is a has been, and a spurt is. So that's what an expert is.
Got it. Comedy is overwhelming.
So these guys worked on the they part of the University of Arizona's Biosphere 2. And the Biosphere was you tell it, Brenda, you're more in this industry.
I think it failed from like carbon dioxide or something.
Yeah, but it's basically just a big closed loop system, and they're sticking humans in it and seeing if they can live off an acre of, habitat.
It's like Encino Man. Remember that movie Encino Man from the 90s?
Yeah, for sure.
Was it Encino Man? I'm sorry.
Oh, Biodome.
Biosphere.
Yeah, or Biodome.
Well, they're connecting all of the
Biodome. That's
movies
it.
into a singular universe, so it's all the same apparently.
Yeah, Biodome.
It's the ultimate jail.
1996.
So why are you talking about this experiment that proved to us we're decades away from knowing exactly how to terraform another planet?
Because we're talking about doing that on board a spaceship with the space shit device
Like
for a toilet.
But there's a lot to think about with a toilet because you have to think of the gases and the microbes, and there's just so much.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think
I used to work for somebody that did RV rental, and we'd go out and clean the RVs, and when people would just fill them up, you open the door and it's just like you're standing in the middle of a toilet right there. The smell was so strong. He'd go in with this packet of stuff, dump it in there, leave the doors open, and like if he didn't do that, it would stay that way for days and days. But he put that in there, in 30 minutes, the smell is completely gone.
Was it microbes?
Yep, it says it breaks. It said on the package, it breaks down waste.
Yeah, they're like dehydrated microbes.
Yeah, so.
And then they become activated and they eat
and
all
they
the
spread
stuff
out
and
and
eat
work
it.
really fast, though. I mean, that's incredible. We're talking like 40, 50 gallons of that, putrid waste, and they're able to just boom. But it doesn't work on gray water. He tried it, and it never did any good. And he warned me whenever we dumped this thing. He said the sewage is nothing compared to the smell of the gray water. You don't want to smell that. Make sure that hose is connected. And sure enough, the one time it wasn't connected, I found out why. It smells like somebody just chopped up a bunch of dead bodies and let them roast in the sun in a plastic bag. I mean, it is absolutely horrid smelling, and it's all the stuff they washed off themselves in the shower and whatnot.
Yeah, so this is the real one. This simulated mission to Mars. NASA's actually recruiting for this. How do we sign up? And how long do we have to? We got to live in there.
That sounds like it would be hell.
I know. I'd be like, let me out. You're signed in. You're under contract. You're an experiment now.
You can't just go to the refrigerator and get a beer.
I think the real nightmare would be when you got out and you saw how drastically everything had changed.
Yeah, like
when you're in it, you're like a frog in a pot.
COVID.
Right. When you're out, you're like a frog in a pot. You acclimate to all the changes so that you can either try to, prepare yourself to deal with it or to do something about it or whatever. But if you come out and just straight smacked in the face with what's going on, man.
This is their idea. They got this these accordion structures that just open up and that they can ship there, and they just Oh,
they can inflate.
I think of those plastic things.
Yeah, like they're rigid.
This
fold right out.
I say we start working on something of our own.
How's it going, Jeremiah?
Hell yeah, man. I just finished the frame and the central pivot assembly I'm working on now for a new multi-purpose torsion balance. So it's going to have an adjustment, big old hand screw on the top that you can set the tension perfectly, and that'll be very, very nice for checking some of these really sensitive measurements. And the other thing that it's going to be able to do is give me continuous 360 degrees rotation, which will be particularly useful for two projects that are coming up that I can't talk about yet, but man, they are going to blow you guys' minds.
We'll take some video.
And specifically, Carl, yeah, I might need your help with some visualizations on exactly what you want to do. Exactly what you want to do.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no problem. We'll make that happen.
Like, I don't know where in the world you came from, Carl, with all of this knowledge, but clearly the way you're talking about it, you have grasped the concept. The idea of what we need to model is exactly that. We do need to model distortions in space, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I've got this, and honestly, this is just from watching Jeremy. I've been thinking about it. This is just from watching Jeremy's channel. I gave up on trying to understand this side of physics a long time ago, and then I was just like, "Fuck this! If there's going to be anti-gravity, I want to know about it." And I've abandoned any hope of trying to apply mathematics to the situation. I'm just approaching this from the perspective of kind of a Wolfram Phoenix theory sort of.
Yeah, almost a purely heuristic approach, a practical, logical approach drawn from first principles. Because here, this is sort of my thinking on it too. I've come to the same conclusions. I'm finding that as I go through history, because I'm sort of doing a big history lesson research with this whole project, trying to figure out who else had figured it out, who else had made those particular set of connections to realize this variable and the potential of that stress in space. And I've got a few names so far. I know there's a lot more yet that I still need to, find and give credit to where credit is due. But yeah, if we could demonstrate that, if we could demonstrate the physics of that, especially where fields are involved and how the stress in space will affect the wavelength of a field from an outside observer. That's a very difficult concept to talk about, but a very easy concept to see. Yep,
very easy concept to see. And the way I'm thinking about it right now, it's very easy to visualize, and it builds upon some core principles, like defining a cube of space. I know it's a theoretical concept, but the idea of quantized space, the Planck scale.
Right. The question is, how much space is in your cube of space? There could be more or less space in that cube.
Let's just say that's real, and that within that unit of space that we can normalize the tension to a factor of 1 when, or to a factor of 0 when that qubit of space is by itself. But when it's surrounded by other, qubits of space, it has a factor of 1 because all of those connectors are all equal out and normalized. But then if you insert mass into the middle of that, all of those qubits of space get compressed to each other. Now all of those compression factors are adding up as that space gets forced away from that center of mass. And now at the edge of that mass, you've got gravity quantized as a force, a numeric force based upon the density and radius of the object. It makes so much sense. In my mind, that's...
If you can do it for objects, then you can do it for theoretical gravitational fields, where you could model the field of an object without the object there.
Yeah.
And then we can get into the interesting stuff about the mass energy equivalency and why photons don't seem to have any mass, but they have momentum. Because there's a lot to say about that I can't say, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, and when it comes time for the models and to release the information, that will be definitely the best way to do it with quality visuals.
You mean like how photons all think the universe just started?
Yeah, they think the universe ain't moving, man.
Everything's static and sitting still. It's like, why haven't you guys done anything yet?
Or you could look at it from the other perspective. You could say for the photon, quite frankly, it's always moving. It never sees a moment of stillness because for it, time stops.
Right.
Until it has an interaction, right? So for its tiny little life, that's it.
Except when it's absorbed by something and turns into thermal energy, of course.
Indeed.
We know that it's got to be quantum information theory. It's got to be. We know that it's based on this whole idea that Wheeler came up with, called "it from bit." How do we create the universe from quantum bits? And it's the idea is that it's not way that a traditional bit is. It's actually a qubit. A normal bit is a 0 or a 1. And a qubit is this thing, and this is your introduction to quantum states, and this is these bracket notation. These are called kets.
This is making me wonder if any of the people involved in this have done any investigation into the Pear Institute.
What is it?
The Pear Institute, Princeton Engineering Anomaly Research.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Everything about that is amazing.
Cool.
Well, they were working with REGs, random event generators, and
what is it?
It's
they were like working on how the mind would affect these virtual particles to not wink out of existence when needed, or to force them to wink back out of existence so they don't interfere with things creating the Brownian motion. That way you could force a fully balanced, randomly, popping back and forth switch that's having all this energy attacking at once to have more energy from one direction to the other, and force the switch on or force it off. Weirdest thing, all the random number generators, right? So this is all the random number generators in the world started going haywire right before 9/11 too. And that was another thing that was brought up.
I still have Shape Changer, the software to train you on how to use your brain to affect that. Anybody wants it?
Oh, send it to me, please.
Yep,
please.
I want that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Only problem is I bet you it only works with Windows, doesn't it?
Actually, it only works with Windows 2000 and earlier. I have not been able to get it, even by changing it so that it is running in 2000.
Collective action. This is collective action. So this is what we're talking about: mind over matter. And this is why it's so important that what I started, even though I'm a dumbass and I get all these physicists coming on here to be like, all right, let me correct you and jump on. And what happens is my dumbassery and blundering and bulldozing a path through all this stuff has like helped like lead the show the others that there is a path, and And even if I'm not going to be the one to probably, maybe we will be the ones, because if we just keep our motivation up and persevere. But man, it's all about creating the scene, and that's what we're doing. And you know, creating a scene where it's cool to mess around with anti-gravity and think about new ways of science and new ways of understanding the universe and ways of hacking the code of the universe, as programmers do. So, and then whether you believe in a divine programmer of this quantum computer universe, it is some pretty weird stuff.
Aliens.
And yeah, there are aliens. So I was working with these guys today, actually, I was doing the floor, and they were inside doing some plumbing, and they were listening to all this Christian music and telling me about their church and stuff. And I was like, dude, hey, I believe in aliens, man. Believe whatever you want.
They do
Well,
too.
hey, I have 3 Jewish friends now, raised Jewish, that believe their religion is more of a sci-fi thing than a divine thing.
Oh yeah, and then we got don't even get Mark started. Where did Mark go? He'll tell you all about his aliens, or all the gods and angels, and it's all aliens.
Well, the thing that it has me kind of curious, why were the people who were on one side and the other side, the Arabic and the Hebrew, pitted against each other for so long? Because one side had everything to build the computers, the other one had the secret to making computers work with the zero. If they had gotten together, they would be the first world power right now, and we'd probably have starships and have colonies in other galaxies by now. It's almost like somebody might have done it on purpose to hold us back.
Yeah, it's weird, because well, definitely they did do a lot of hide a lot of stuff on purpose, because as we know, Project Rainbow was run by the CIA, and meanwhile they put out stuff as late as the 80s on that Philadelphia experiment and all that ridiculous disinformation, when the real stuff that was going on was related to nuclear magnetic spins and resonance in the atoms. And that was what the real that was the real science that was being studied.
Oh man!
Right.
Speaking of real science, and sorry, buddy, like just hit me from the left side of my brain. Did you guys catch the Lou Elizondo interview on that UFO podcast, where he basically said infrasound technologies would be able to detect UFOs? So basically, we have infrared as a detection system, not optical, but infrared.
Oh yeah, well it would be like bat sensing. It's like sonar, infrasound. Yeah. That's interesting. That's super interesting.
Yeah, and so the first thing and he just kind of because they asked the question, they talked to Avi Loeb and they said, "Hey, Avi, what's a sensor we can throw out to Loeb to get a confirmation on?" And they're like, "Oh, ask about infrasound detection." And Lou's immediate response was like, "Yeah, that'd be a way to do it." But there's an even more simple way to do it. And he went on his sort of salesman pitch, but he confirmed immediately, without question, infrasound could be used to detect them. And my first thought was, what if these crafts' design is intended to operate outside of our perception to detect them, our natural perceptive abilities, our vision, our acoustic abilities to detect them? What if they're just built to operate outside of our detection?
All right. So what was the mind control software called? We're going to post that. Is it in the private chat?
Oh yeah, I do post that because I'm curious.
Yeah, mind control software? Or you mean control by mind?
Control by mind.
Yeah, the control by mind software.
It's called Shape Changer. Actually,
okay.
Let me see if I can just upload it to my Google Drive, and that way people can basically grab it with the link. That might be the best thing to do.
I'm gonna post your emails in the description so people can.
Yeah, they just have to add the .com. I didn't want to throw it in there because I didn't know how chat would handle putting links and stuff like that in there. So, and it's not that hard to add a .com. So.
We'll do that.
Got it.
If you want to check the video description, I have an email you can send to get the that shapeshifter software. What's it called? This is crazy. It's called Shapeshifter. I'm gonna have to adjust my tinfoil hat.
Shape changer.
Shape changer.
I think there's a GitHub for it.
How do we know we found it? It's not shapeshifter, right? It's shape changer.
Shape changer? Yeah.
What the hell? Is it? Where is it? Make sure I don't send people to the wrong thing, man. I don't want them downloading viruses.
Well, I haven't uploaded it yet, so hold on.
Don't download anything. Don't even go to the websites, guys. It's all a trap. Anyways, yeah, this is interesting. So they can use sound to, you know, how about that guy that he can like actually hear the based on the sound, the pitch, you know, you can tell the hardness of materials because of actually like the sound that they give off, you know, like why metal has that ringing, that high pitched ringing sound to it because of the, it's actually because of the bonds and the strength of the bonds inside the material itself, which hold those resonances and react to those frequencies and to emit those.
NASA just talked about releasing a sound dampening propulsion system. And I was immediately like, infrasound. I was like, is that what that was all about? Is that, do they have some technology to, you know, decrease the sound, you know, barrier when they break it? I don't know anything about it yet, but I caught that on the news. I think it was even today. Yeah, NASA
Sorry,
technologies.
Friday night. I'm just making sure my neighbors aren't going crazy out there on my camera. I hear some noise going on outside. All right. So, anyways, ultrasonic weapons. Have you seen that guy on YouTube that builds all the ultrasound stuff? He does all these experiments with sound and stuff too. This guy that built a LRAD, you know. Make your own LRAD system, man. This dude did. Is this guy? Tech Ingredients. I think this is the dude.
There you go. I just posted the link for it where it's at on the Google Drive.
Yeah, this guy, Tech Ingredients, he shows you how to build a lot of cool stuff, man. He shows you how to build one of these. If you got the money to buy all the sound emitters and the controller and everything, he shows you how to build.
He goes pretty deep into why it works the way it does too. So
yeah, this dude's good.
Oh, cool! Check it out. Tech Ingredients.
Yes. Totally. He's good at it. He's good at it, man. I would love to get him on our team for like figure out what all this EG&G equipment was used for so we can repeat all their experiments and declassify all this science, the good stuff anyway. Heck yeah. I'm getting tired here, guys. I want to wrap this live stream up.
He should have access to the database because I added him to the drive. So who knows what happens there?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Brenda, for joining us, and thank you, Carl and Falcon. I'm glad you guys are alive and you survived that, man. That was really scary.
Yeah, I'm glad the shop survived mostly. They say it was once in a 1,000-year storm.
Wow.
Hope to not see it again ever.
Yeah.
Well, they said that the hurricanes never hit Hawaii, and then a friend of mine moved out there, and it got hit twice in a row. Literally 2 hurricanes just.
Was Spaghetti Crest around?
No, I actually didn't reach out to him. We should have.
Yeah, man.
Spaghetti.
We'll be safe, and if it's going to be flooding like that, don't be hanging out in your basement. And
but staying in the lab, actually, we saved a lot of equipment because we were able to improvise as the storm was coming in.
Yeah.
So, and this is equipment that no amount of money can replace. It just doesn't exist. That there are no replacements for some of the stuff that's here.
No.
Thank goodness that UPS Freight did not deliver that pallet from Albuquerque of amplifiers that we got, which were straight Edison Diaz Anti-Gravity Research Lab, because if we would have had those, they would have been destroyed. At least the bottom was. Ones would have. But yeah, it worked out. It worked out. Like, we survived it. The neighbors, not so much. There's people here that lost a lot. They lost everything. You look at the woodwork shop, he lost everything. He's starting from zero now, and all of his employees.
Yeah.
And they're all like very positive. He still has customers, and just take a loan out and just continue on. He has families that work there. There's like 10 employees, and they all came down and cleaned up the place. They helped me out too, and I was the only shop that had a working forklift. All of the forklifts were too close to the water. They got flooded. Mine was in our storage unit, which is way up top. So everyone was borrowing Falcon Space's forklift. I used it to move some stuff around. Like there was these huge logs that were just jammed down the alley. Pick those up and move them out of the way.
Do you have any videos of that?
Truck, he kept it parked, and it got the water in the engine. And they're a mechanic, so they were like working on that the whole time. They needed my forklift to help with that. The main problem with this kind of situation is if you know that water's gonna eventually get in the engine, shut the engine off. Turn off the car.
What you're looking at right there, I was too young to remember. I was only like 4 years old, 3 years old. But I was living in Pennsylvania when we had something like that happen. I think it was 1972.
Yeah, because what happens is that water comes in your air intake manifold, and then it just destroys your engine.
You can't compress air, so the engine's going to try to, and you're going to start breaking piston rods.
Yeah, the water doesn't compress because of hydraulic pressure.
Get a snorkel for your vehicle now. Like they put on Hummers.
Yeah, so the neighbors, there was also another neighbor here that just moved in 8 months ago, and they had a furniture company. They got 7 feet of water. They didn't have any pumps. They were not prepared at all. $500,000 in damage. I was over there earlier trying to help them out. I'm going to be there in the morning too with the forklift. They need to pull some stuff out. Their forklift is dead. All of the outdoor forklifts in the neighborhood are dead.
Again, the firefighters. This is the heroic scene. The firefighters going on the excavator or the heavy equipment machinery to go and rescue this poor woman from her vehicle before it gets swept away in these crazy flood waters. So this
magnificently horrific, and I think the only thing that's going to match it or rival it in how magnificently horrific it will be the insurance companies tap dancing around paying everybody off.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching, and please, if you guys can send some support to the lab and get in touch with Mark, and if you're in the area of New Jersey, you want to come help out with the cleanup, also get in touch. So yeah,
if you're not in the area and you want to come to the area, we do have the Falcon Space Bed and Breakfast.
yeah. We also are looking for a new home that's not in flood zone. So if
Yes,
you,
if you know of a place, we need 15 to 20,000 square feet, stable ground, lots of power for stage 2. So if you know of a place, preferably for rent, we'd probably be, I don't know, we'll buy or rent that stage, but
we need to all throw down and buy a place that we can all live at and just have this
Depending on where you look in
anti-gravity.
Oklahoma, you can probably buy it for what you'd rent it anywhere else.
we should move to Colorado. We're really considering Colorado for the mountains.
Well, Tornado Alley, flood zone. I don't know, man. We're gonna like Colorado would be good. What?
Well, anywhere you go, you're going to have some sort of issues. But
Yeah.
if you can go locally and learn about the place, you'll find, like here in Oklahoma, there's an elbow or a football-shaped area right there by this crook in the Arkansas River that runs right through where Tulsa's at. The tornadoes never touch down in there. They never move into the area. There's something about the geographical shape there that deflects all of that away from that area. And they haven't there are no like native stories about them touching down in the area. They were the first ones that noticed that the area was devoid of tornadoes. So you can probably find holes like that almost anywhere you go. And most people probably won't know about it. So you don't have to worry about the price being sky high because it's so safe.
Colorado Springs.
So.
Yeah, Tesla picked Colorado Springs
Woo!
for a reason.
I really would like
that,
to go and check out Colorado Springs. Yeah, that would be cool.
It's pretty nice. I drove through there once.
Me and Jeremy both ski, so we got that going.
Hey, whoever Create the Imaginable is, anywhere in the northern hemisphere is too close to Yellowstone. If anything happens with Yellowstone, we're all going to be covered in ash, so it doesn't matter where you're at in the northern hemisphere. So I wouldn't worry about Colorado.
I think Yellowstone is sort of like an entire planet eruption.
Yeah,
I don't think it's an entire planet problem, but I think it will cause other calderas on the other side of the planet to go off, and it will cause.
Not just that. I'm saying like the winter that will follow, the eruption winter, volcanic winter.
The equator is going to be the only safe spot if there's anywhere because of the flow of the energy from the core toward the poles. There's
We're already having problems with our crops right now. People don't realize.
Look at hurricanes. Look at the patterns on them. They all drift away from the equator, north or south.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Peace out.
Good night, everybody. Thanks, everyone.